You're such an asshole!
Hello, children. Hi, Aaron. Please keep me anonymous. And I know this request. Why do you... I always get a kick out of people who want to remain anonymous. And it's the most innocuous, innocent things. He just wants to know where to travel. Like, I can see, dear Aaron, deep down inside I'm a pedophile. How do I get rid of that? Well, I can see why you don't want your name. But, you know, he just wants to ask. So I'll keep you anonymous. I've recently come into some money and am an American citizen living abroad. I'm in my 20s and studying a real degree. I plan to spend the summer in the States but do not know where to go. I'm asking for you to help me out here. I was planning on going to the north side of Chicago as it's nice and won't be too humid or hot. Oh, you might be surprised. I would like a quote for a video consultation. Kind regards, will keep you anonymous. And then I said, well, give me more to go on. What do you like? Where do you want to go? What's your interest? He says, I plan to spend the summer working any job I can get as long as I'm not required to be 21. I would like to an anonymous video response. The budget would be $1,000 a month on rent for 3 months. You should be able to find that. That's more than enough. I was thinking Montana also, but I believe I would have an easier time getting a job in Chicago. Yeah, if you wanted to get a job in Montana, presumably either in Yellowstone National Park, which is mostly in Wyoming, but bits of it do go into Montana. The main one would be Glacier National Park, and you probably had to have your resume in a while ago if you want to be like a truck driver or just general help at the national park. You could still go ahead and try. Chicago, they're constantly hiring. I'm in fair physical condition. In my free time, I plan on exploring the local area by cycling or public transport. That'd be Chicago. I know I would enjoy cycling the north shore of Chicago. I also thought about Seattle, but it's too expensive, and the Seattle freeze could well be a thing. I just paid on PayPal for $35 with an account under the different name. All right, it's up to you. Hang on, set this aside. If I had to choose between Chicago and Seattle, I'd choose Chicago. It at least has its shit somewhat together. And in Reconnaissance Man, which I presume you read, I sing highly of it and every person should experience. If you're going to experience a major metro city, especially an American one, Chicago is it. And I think you'll be done by about 3 months and be time to go. It's a great place to be during summer. It's wonderful. Good old time. Navy Pier, the North Shore, jazz. I just had a wonderful time there. But inevitably you'll get sick of it, and yeah, you are going to want to do public transport in your bike. That's pretty much the only way that you'd get around. And you should be able to find some kind of job there as well. Seattle has the mountains, but it is just sounding like such a shithole now. The traffic is as bad as Chicago, although you'd be doing public transport. But to get to the mountains, even though you're kind of right, that you still got to go a ways. To get to Highway 2, if you could be a really good cyclist and do it, but then, you know, how much energy you're going to use cycling up to, you know, the waterfalls, and then hiking, and then cycling all the way back. And there really isn't any kind of culture in Seattle except for gonorrhea, typhoid, syphilis, tetanus, and tuberculosis. I mean, it is a shit. So the city itself is not that. It's a dumpy, ugly city. It's not necessarily Detroit, but the city itself is not that exciting. Hey, we got a Fisher's Market. Shut the fuck up. So there's not a lot of culture like you have in Chicago, and whereas Chicago doesn't have the mountains, I don't think on a bike and public transport you're not going to get to Chinook Pass on a bike unless you take 2 days and a very nice set of warm clothes. So I would almost save Seattle for later. The second choice I would do would be Glacier National, but as I said before, it's probably too late for you to get a job. You can give it a shot. 3 months, if you've never been to the mountains, I could see doing that, but even Glacier would get a little bit tiring, and you would need a car. That's what you're really going to need, a car in Glacier. So if you don't have a car, you got $1,000 a month, I'd do Chicago. Scratch that itch, get that out of the way. I would definitely do that. But then down the road, once you get a car, you're a little more mobile, then you can tackle the national parks. or a city like Seattle where, yeah, there's a city, but it's still an hour's drive to the mountains and stuff like that. So, all right, questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. Tell friends, tell families, tell loved ones, tell enemies, tell people you're genuinely indifferent about, and check out all the links below. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.